Wizard weather blew in off the sea. Hello and welcome to Liam's Lyceum. I'm your host Liam, aka Hembar, and today I'll be doing a spoiler-free review of Robert Lynn Asprin and Lynn Abbey's Storm Season. Storm Season is book 4 in the Thieves World universe, and it is edited by Robert Lynn Asprin and Lynn Abbey, and there are more contributors. It is the sixth I've actually read for the series, as I read 2 of the accompanying novels with the first 3 anthologies before getting to this one. And that would be Dagger and Shadowspawn. This has an introduction plus 6 stories this time around. Our introduction is from Hakim, as usual. This time he goes to the docks to trace a rumor. Old Man and Hort, characters from a story in the previous volume, have gone missing while out at sea. That and an odd ship was seen recently at sea. Storm season approaches, and it may not just be about the weather. Exercise in Pain by Robert Lynn Asprin is the first story. Jubal waits for Soliman, who is late in retrieving help for the injured gangster. Stolwig, a healer, makes an appearance in this as Jubal is in danger of crippling or even death. An interesting one with an ending I wasn't quite expecting. Story 2 is Downwind by C.J. Cherryh and is about Downwind, which is kind of a neighborhood of Sanctuary, but really the shanty town full of poverty across the river from Sanctuary. Mama Betcho does well for herself there, one of the few to succeed doing so and really prosper in this place. She even runs the only tavern in Downwind. Mradon Vis sulks in Downwind. He dreams of screams. Not a nightmare, but of committing murder. He's not a Downwinder, though, and Mama Betcho is convinced he will die in the hostile environment once his coin runs out. He previously worked for a shade, but no more. He also involves a brother and sister that once worked for Jubal. A Fugitive Art by Diana L. Paxton is the third story. Governor of Sanctuary and Prince of Rank looks at a mural depicting his ancestor defeating the last king of Ilsig. This one really is about the artist Lalo, though. It starts a bit slow, but once it gets going, much happens in a short span. There's lots of action, but also character growth, and really a favorite for me from the anthology. Steel is the next story by Lynn Abbey. It is about Enlabar steel, legendary stuff that can cut through other blades. Walagrin and his remaining men make their way back to Sanctuary to forge swords from this stuff. This is the brother of the Sedonzo Lyra. They're actually half Sedonzo, but it deals with familial ties and paranoia, and then gets tied into larger events for the series. Makes it pretty obvious to me I wouldn't actually start Thieves World with this anthology. You could read the first 2 pretty strictly without having read. You could read the second one, for example, without having read the first one. And you could kind of read the third one without having read the first or second book. I really wouldn't read the fourth one without having read the previous ones. Wizard Weather by Janet Morris has some cool moments and lines. It is the next story. It's not completely about Tempest. It starts with his sister, Sime, actually having sex with a wizard she plans to kill. There's lots of characters like Nico. It deals with mages and gods as well. Tempest is kind of a mix of an old-school sword and sorcery character and a Malazan character that has an odd relationship with his god. It's an okay story, though. Again, not as impressive as the first Janet Morris story I read. God's Son, the final story, gets into more with Tempest's god, particularly the cosmological conflict of Ilse and Rank. It has some interesting wish fulfillment. Definitely needs to be read before the novel Shadowspawn. It's not my favorite, but Shadowspawn is an enjoyable character getting caught up in some of the godly going-ons this time. He's not quite powerless, but he is an active piece on a large game board, and not the most powerful one for sure. And he's not quite controlling all of his moves either. Then there's the epilogue. The storm that was hinted at the start comes making for quite an ending. I wonder what the next book will bring, and it goes over many characters' actions for only a paragraph or 2, very much setting up this next book and leaving us on a cliffhanger. I believe book 5 is Faces of Chaos, I believe. So I do think I have a copy of that, actually. I need to look at my shelves, but I definitely do look forward to getting to that. I do enjoy reading Thieves World, this stuff. So anyways, Liam from Liam's Lyceum. I will catch you next time.